According to Mythos, 100% of you are subscribed. Good job!
After an elongated break, the time has finally come to go over the lore of every single equation that can be found within the Protean hero as of 3.1. In this series, we're going to be going over the little text blurbs that you can find whenever you obtain a new equation. These usually provide some sort of context in regards to the title of the equation, which usually signifies a faction or being that exists within the Star Rail universe. However, in the Protean hero, in order to give it more of a thematic, all of these are related to Amphoreus, meaning that through these we can actually learn more about the world building of the game itself, which in all honesty I am extremely hyped about, especially because I feel like this can also give us further context about maybe like the Chrysos heirs, the Titans, the beliefs of Amphoreus itself, and as a whole, I don't know, I feel like it is a nice way to give us further context of what happened before the start of the Chrysos War. So, with all that being said, let us go over the lore of every single equation in the Path of the Harmony found in the Protean hero. Court of Echoes. It's been a while since we last met, though for you, this is our first encounter. We wander across the vast land, recording our journeys in conch shells, and when moments allow, we also carve echoes for others. The bygone eras linger in the dreams of Orynyx. Each time I take a conch shell from someone, I embrace their past. Though my eyes haven't witnessed the fall of ages, the echoes from the conch handed down by that old lady resonate deeply within me. I'm not truly myself, I'm just a bearer of stories. When I swap my conch with the next companion, I transform into a new entity. Everyone can be me, and I can be anyone. When the next iteration of me crosses your path, I'm sure you'll be outstanded once more. Alright, so starting things off, one of the things that I find to be really interesting and fascinating about this new set of equations is that a lot of them refer to themselves in the first person. This is like different from the human comedy, because in the human comedy, every time it was talking about you are the representation of this entity. This is what you have done. This is how history remembers you. In this case, I find it so strange but really cool that it's actually like a poem written by the entity that is speaking. This does change for the 3-star equations and every single boundary equation, which in this case all of them are considered to be miracles. Still, I love this structure and I cannot wait to dig deeper into it. Dawn Troupe. Do you remember the Radiant Troupe? The sorrows and joys penned by the playwright Aeschylus. They are the most warrior-like among theater troupes, always singing amidst the blazing fires of strife. They are the most priest-like among warriors, praising the peaks of Okema and the dawn that lights the mortal realm. The hero Korinki rises, guarding his honor with his short sword. Aeacus' chariot crushes the usurper, heralding victory. The dispersed citizens gather, raising their weapons against calamity. Even the thieves of Dolos pause for them. Venturing into ruins with bravery, saving lives like heroes. The legendary troupe of all time may have faded, but I still glimpse them in my dreams, where they don the masks of Kefali, playing as the god that upholds the world. You know, I really hate that my very first instinct, the moment that I read this equation, was a barbarian. If you guys don't know, it's like a combination of like a bard and a barbarian within Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know why, but I just imagined these people with like all their musical gadgets going into battle in the most absurd way possible. Or the other example that I have in mind is the battle chefs from Legends of Runeterra. Just these individuals that have no reason being in the battlefield, but just popping off because they improvise and they know how to do, they know how to get shit done. That's what, I don't know, it's a great concept that I want to see. Disoriented Hermit. Let me share a joke with you. It's Castini, the hilarious fool who dissects fate itself. This blessed one with bright eyes weaves destiny into myriad threads. The thread ball that points out directions rolls through the labyrinth of strife, one end leading to the faint light of survival, while the other is tightly tied to the lost soul in the black tide. When threads snap, they're rewoven, akin to a phoenix rising from the depths of despair. However, Talanton has already balanced life and death on a scale as unyielding as the Emperor's law. With each thread severing, a path and its choices disappear, blinding the guide and entangling the weaver, until the only options left are death and loss. I'm not certain if this journey holds any true purpose, but my friend, you stand as the 101st soul. Flame Chase Envoy. Let me tell you about a group of footless birds, the unkillable eagles of the battlefield. When the hero who ripped the skies and the demigod who brought the prophecy sent word, there was an unstoppable calamity and the courage to reshape the world. In the name of Empress Seridra, ancient messengers passed through Janus' gates. They traveled to Ladon, Hondak, and every city-state, connecting the shattered lands and announcing the beginning of the flame chase. Then, they were decapitated by the most foolish kings. They traveled to Ikatus, Kadir, and every battlefield, bringing weapons to the heroes and messages to the wise, till the final god is slain, or till our very last drop of blood is shed. Wait a second. For context, I just did the Trailblaze mission. Is this the tribbies? Is this like all the tribbie clones? Because they mentioned how the tribbie's soul was shattered into 1,000 pieces, meaning that there were tribbies that got decapitated. What the hell, Hoyo? Also, I started with a harmony, and this is the very first equation set that is saying our or we as opposed to like I or my, like, because every other equation has been referring to themselves in the first person singular. This is first person plural. I'm concerned. Society of Charity. Let me tell you the story of those who believed in universal love and cherished all beings. They walked every path paved by Janus. Along the way, they admired the mighty bodies of titans as much as the delicate antennae of ants. Even the stoic faces of Kremnoan warriors bear the imprint of their fiery kisses. Scholars of the Helcolithistic school argued that there was no love without reason, that humans were but clustered golden butterflies, their love driven by instinct. But ultimately, universal love was merely a fleeting interlude in the course of time. As once the flames of conflict raged, conquest remained the eternal theme. How could tender lips contend with the sharp edges of axes and swords? Still, they smiled. Having loved all beings in this world, they turned to kiss the black hand of Thanatos. Sym-Thanatos. Let me tell you the story of cowards huddling together for warmth, whom I scorn. In life, countless doors open, each concealing an unknown landscape. But the last door is certain. It opens to fire and ashes. it reeks of decay. Though you dare not approach, a relentless force behind you pushes you forward. You pretend to be calm, but you cannot suppress the fear inside. Faced with this eternal conundrum, the weaklings gathered. They paraded in mourning clothes, persuading others to join their ranks. But what they joined was nothing more than a grand funeral. How ridiculous is it, rushing hand in hand towards the door of death? Yet, the hand of Thanatos gently swept over, regardless of whether there are a million or just one.
So, if I interpreted this right, this one is really messed up. And I don't feel like I can go too in depth on it, otherwise I might get demonetized. But essentially, the fact that this individual was just taking themselves out with a multiple of people is concerning. I mean, it does fit the whole thematic of the harmony being people that are in positions of leadership and destruction, making sure that everybody in the group takes themselves out. Still, what the hell, Hoyo?
Wilting Patient. Be grateful for your wealthy body, and you may be safe from disease. If you happen to encounter someone burdened with branch-like protrusions, do not approach rashly. The strange disease, known as the Withering Curse, is rampant in the city of Railvis. Some say the afflicted have received enlightenment from Circes, while others claim it's a miracle of Thanatos. Yet, the sufferers neither speak the truth nor show signs of life ebbing away. They merely gravitate towards each other, like withered trees seeking the form of a forest. No one can understand the whispers of the patients, just as no one can comprehend the murmurs of the forest breeze. You may wonder what meaning remains in an already withered life, but upon reflection, isn't your life and mine withering all the same?
So, is this the abundance? Because they mention, I like how they try to explain, oh, this could be Circes, but they're not intelligent, and this could be Thanatos, but like these people are not dying, and I feel like that last little part of like, hey, their life is not ebbing away, hints at immortality, which would hint at the abundance, and if that's the case, and the abundance somehow got like seeds of whatever the hell they're called, the abundance seeds, that's literally their name, I don't know why I forgot, but yeah, if they got seeds of abundance into Amphorius somehow, like that is just really concerning.
Flame Chase Alliance. You call those flame-chasing marauders heroes? Ridiculous. They are nothing but zealots blindly following a deranged empress who indulges her fantasies under the guise of saving the world. A horde of power-hungry, glory-obsessed lunatics, they only add fuel to the fire. Has tearing the wings from the chrysalis of gold brought even a touch of beauty to this ugly world? How many lives were consumed by the cracked earth after they took the core flame from the pillar of stone? The calamity wrought by their flame chasing is a disgrace greater than the Chrysos War. Even the sins of Nicodor and Zagreus pale in comparison to theirs. Helioticus, how did you lose that eye of yours? And what about my daughter, and the fathers, mothers, and children of everyone in this city? How dare you sing praises for those who have not returned?
This equation is quite fascinating, I feel. Especially because this is the first one that doesn't speak of itself in the first person. Like, it is still someone speaking from their own point of view, but it's not about like the own faction speaking as themselves. It's someone speaking about the faction and complaining about it. It's somebody that has family that they're worried about. And I love how they're even bringing it up to this person, like, hey, these people that have died following the, being one of the Flame Chase Alliance people, how dare you sing about them knowing that, like, their families are mourning? Like, you call them heroes, but what about the people that they matter to most? Lazy Fingerjoint. Even one as knowledgeable as you has likely never been to the decayed land of Kasako. There, people lie bedridden year-round, their fingers being the only agile part of their bodies. With a finger curl, fruit rolls through open windows to their bedsides. A quick clap summons brews brought by a thief's hand. Fruits are stolen from orchards up the mountain. Honey brew are pilfered from neighbors' cellars. A mystical well, said to bear Zagreus' blessing, never runs dry, pouring forth nectar and wheat in endless supply. It's a grandiose lie so outlandish that even the boldest liar wouldn't dare to tell. How blissful! You steal from me, I seize from you. Life is effortless, never requiring one to step outside. Kasako has rotted through countless days and nights. There, even death requires no more than a snap of a finger. I really don't know what to add to this. Like, it is essentially a nice combination of the harmony and the nihility, because everybody is just accustomed that this is the way of living, and to a certain extent they are just dooming themselves by not moving at all, to the point that, even death can just swiftly pick them up because they're doing this to themselves. I love the philosophy of, like, oh, you steal from me, so therefore I will steal from you later. I want to visit this place. I want to actually see how this place looks. Passage's Miracle. This is a harmonious celebration inscribed on a stone tablet. This is the miracle of Yanis, the Gate of Infinity. In an era before the calamity spread, a grand festival was being held in Yanusopolis. The god unraveled the threads of destiny, weaving a common insection for all travelers. Forests that used to trap walkers were no longer hard to navigate. Paths that were blocked by rocks were now clear. All the roads leading to the sacred land opened wide. Janus lightly touched each doorway again, bestowing blessings and guiding the pilgrims stepping through them to the shared destination. The priests inaugurated the banquet with their chants. Adventurers who had roamed the earth raised their goblets in a toast. Messengers and kings from all city-states gathered together to celebrate the start of a new year. Cast aside worries and disputes. Sing the same prayer in unison. Oh boy, this is the one thing that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Especially because every single boundary equation is a Titan's miracle. And I love the fact that this doesn't have to be full confirmation that the path is aligned to the Titan, but I like the idea that there are still some philosophies that we will be able to see within them. I actually got the chance to talk a little bit about this with one of my friends that also does YouTube videos. You guys might know him as Shiro Matsunoki. He's been popping off, so if you guys can, definitely do drop him a sub. That being said though, while we were talking, he had mentioned how it would make sense for the Passage Titan to be related to trailblazing as a path, and in all honesty that makes a lot of sense, especially with the description saying that they forged a path for everyone to unite, and that's where I feel like it's also really cool to see that they made it be also related to the harmony in a way, shape, or form. Because even though I feel like the Gate of Time that they have as a concept for being able to travel from point A to B, and the Passage Titan making paths to ease the travel for people would be perfect for trailblazing. The idea and the usage of this power being for the sake of we are gonna make sure that people can gather around, unite, we can have all of Amphorius work together, feels so perfectly fitted for the harmony. And I cannot wait to properly read every other boundary equation miracle lore as we go through this series. And yeah, with that, we have gone over the lore of every possible equation that has been found within the Divergent universe's Protean hero as of patch 3.1. In all honesty, this was a lot of fun. Like I said, I do enjoy the lore and the world building of this game, so being able to learn more about it in these little bits and pieces feels incredibly fascinating because it feels my lore-heavy, hungry brain. Even though I rarely use it, I promise it's there. I like to just go and speculate and do like random little theories. So being able to just figure all of this out seems intriguing. Being able to have further context to just go like, oh, I heard about that, would be amazing. A part of me feels like I'm definitely glad that I was able to read through all of these after doing the Trailblaze mission, because like I mentioned, there was a whole tribbie thing that I don't think I would have associated had I read these first and then do the story. So I might come back and like rewatch this video and like the other ones that I make just for the sake of re-educating myself, and I might bring these up in future videos as well, because learning more and having those implications exist now in my brain feels incredible. It's like my mind gets open. I'm just like, I can see everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just exaggerating. Maybe I'm a bit too eccentric, but I love that about myself. I have like a lot of energy for these videos, and that makes me happy. And you all make me happy. I'm glad that I get to make these videos with you guys, that you guys get to, you know, like drop in your comments and we get to communicate with them. I try to reply to as many, if not all, the comments whenever I can. You all have been such an amazing community. So with all that being said, because I'm making this outro way longer than it probably has to be, have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone you're currently watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.